How to encourage someone at work or at home to finally retire. We probably all know that person. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a colleague at the office. They're like, when are they going to retire? When are they going to retire? There's a lot of people that are really delaying that, and for a few different reasons. A huge one for a lot of people is money. I'm going to actually give a few reasons. One is money. 2/3 of boomers are concerned that they're not going to have enough money to retire. Okay, 2/3. 79% of baby boomers actually say that they would actually rather be semi-retired, kind of like ease into it, both from a social perspective and just kind of wanting to work, but also for the income. Second big reason why people don't want to retire, it's familiar, it's social. And also, with COVID, it's been really a catalyst for change around how people actually work. And so now there's more flexibility and people can work from home. And certainly for senior leaders, they've got a lot more options, which is a lot more attractive. The third reason is for a lot of people, their work is their identity. It's who they are. And so to the idea of actually stopping that is extremely difficult. And a fourth biggie that I find is they don't know what they would do with their time. Maybe they don't have a lot of hobbies. Maybe they don't really have a whole lot of interests. And so it's just a lot more attractive to them to actually want to kind of keep working. So how can we encourage someone to potentially retire at work or at home? So 4 quick questions. Number 1 is you want to really start that conversation with them. And obviously the way you ask these questions will be different if this is a family conversation or this is an organizational question, but just to kind of get us thinking. The first one is, what does a successful retirement look like? Get them to kind of start vision casting. Like, what does this look like? Because if they don't really have any kind of idea, then it just seems really scary. We're going to kind of lean away from it. So what would a typical day look like for you? What's on some of the things in your bucket list? So what does a successful retirement look like? And really try to get them to start dreaming and having a bit of a vision for themselves. So that's kind of question number 1. Number 2, when will you decide that it's time to retire? I think people need time for this. It can't be something where I'm going to retire in 6 months. A lot of times people need lead time, whether or not it's 1 year or 3 years. They need a bit of a runway. So getting them to start thinking about the timing. Number 3, and this is a really good one, is who could you ask that is retired and what advice would they actually recommend? And talking to other people who have kind of entered that amazing next life stage, and what kind of recommendations or tips or strategies would they actually recommend, I think would be really helpful. And be sure to ask someone who is retired well. I think that's a really important piece. We want to make sure that we're asking people who have done this really well, and what are the recommendations that they would actually say. And the fourth one is, how could you make this a great transition? And, again, think about it like the runway. So if someone's thinking, yeah, maybe I'll retire maybe in about 2 years or 3 years. Okay, so what are the things or the goals that you would really like to do during that time to help prepare yourself? So would you like to start doing mentoring? Are there certain projects you would really love to be doing at the workplace? Are there certain hobbies that you really want to start kind of testing a little bit? And so you kind of have a runway to kind of start practicing and exercising that. But the idea is to really inspire and to encourage and to have that meaningful conversation so that they feel excited and empowered for this next life stage.